Hi everyone, welcome to this video on lesson 8 of the variation and inheritance scheme of work. This lesson is on surface area to volume ratio, and it's really, it's tricky. This is kind of a half or a 2/3 lesson, in that really the only reason to do this is to set up the next lesson, which is on the adaptations of plants and animals in hot and cold environments. But it is such an important concept in biology. Also arguably in chemistry and physics as well, but certainly in biology, it's such an important concept that we should address it. You'll notice this is just qualitative, what you'll see in the slides here. So at GCSE level, students will need to calculate surface area to volume ratio and actually, for real examples, actually put some numbers in and generate an actual ratio, a numerical ratio. But in this case, essentially, the idea to get across at Key Stage 3 is just to say, if an object is kind of fatter, to use a slightly loaded word, but kind of fatter and rounder, less of it is exposed to the air, less of the object's volume is exposed to the air, and therefore it's likely to lose heat, emit heat less quickly. Whereas the kind of taller, skinnier, lankier type people or organisms, they are going to have, they're more exposed to the air and they're going to lose heat more quickly. Now, students find this really difficult because they, for some reason, they get the kind of high and low surface area to volume ratio mixed up. So they will think that because, to use the examples in the slides, because the sumo wrestler has a much greater mass, they will automatically think that must have the high surface area to volume ratio, because they just think, well, that's bigger, therefore bigger equals higher, and they won't really get this surface area to volume ratio concept. So that's where you've got to really make that explicit and link this idea that surface area to volume ratio is really saying how much of the volume is exposed. That's what we mean by surface area. And again, the skinny example, more is exposed, therefore higher surface area to volume ratio. Sumo wrestler, less relatively is exposed, therefore lower surface area to volume ratio. So there's then a few examples that students will look at, but really you don't need to spend ages and ages on this lesson, because they're then going to apply this concept and see it in multiple different contexts in the next 2 or 3 lessons on hot and cold climates.